Hi, my name is Shankar Gomare, and today I'm going to show you how to containerize a web application. This is a series on SAP HANA and Docker containers. We will package our shopping cart built in earlier video as a Docker container image for Docker Swarm deployment. So step 1 is to create Docker file for PHP Apache. We will use official reference image from Docker Hub as a starting point. So let's get started. If you remember from my earlier video, we used our host called HANA Docker S1. So I logged into that host. To save time, I have already prepared a Docker file for build, and it is available on a GitHub repository. So we will first copy that file. We'll clone that Git repository here. We'll do git clone https github.com, my user, and the repository, which is docker build open cart htb.git. Okay, so we have our Docker file. I'm going to explain what the Docker file is and how it looks like. So I have opened it in the VS Code. Here you can see the from argument is a reference to Docker Hub image, which is a PHP Apache Buster image. This will be our base image for our build. The other commands like copy is just copying a source directory into this location in the Docker image. Run is going to change the permissions for this directory to read and write, or full read write execute. Environment Apache document root. So these three lines will change the Apache document root to point to var www.html open cart upload. In our previous video we did that manually, but in this case we are just going to automate that through this script. And the rest of the other commands, these two run commands, are basically to install the PHP extensions. So what happens is it's going to compile those PHP extensions and install them one by one. So let's get started with the build. We will log into the system. We'll say docker build. We will give a name. We will name it as open cart hdb and in this directory. From this directory file. Here we can see the steps. So the first step is to download the base image from Docker Hub. Then copy. Okay, failed. Okay, we don't have the file, so we are gonna create a directory src, and we'll switch to src, and we will copy our open cart from var www.html. Here, since it's a directory, we have to provide argument and SAP HANA client, that is HDBC client. We copy it here. We'll switch back to our main directory for build, and we will run the command again. Okay, so build. Step 1, the download. Since we ran it second time, it's already the image is already available, so it did not download it again. Step 2, to copy. This time it worked fine, there was no error. Now step 3, to change permissions, and so on. So system is going to run those steps and create a Docker image. We will take this image, we will push it to Docker Hub, and then we are going to download or pull that image in another test system, and we will run our container to verify our open cart works with the brand new Docker image. You can see the message at the end. It says successfully built and tagged as a latest. So we are good with the image. Now we are going to push this new image to Docker Hub, and the way we do it is by tagging it. First, the first step is to tag. So docker tag open cart that to the remote repository. So I'm not specifying repository because by default it's Docker Hub, but if you want to specify, you will be able to specify. We'll name same docker open cart. There's extra O, open cart hdb, and we'll tag it as latest. Oh, my bad. and then we will push it. So docker push, and we have to specify what we want to push: open cart, HTTP, and we don't need the latest stack, so we push that. And we can verify once this is pushed to a Docker Hub, we will switch to our Docker Hub account and we will see if this image is available there. So right now I have another test image. Okay, so it's pushed. Now we'll go back and we will refresh our page. And here here is the new image, Docker image. So we just built our image and we pushed it here. Now the next step is to test or verify this image has everything required to run OpenCart. And for that purpose, I have a Docker test system. So we will log in there, Docker test IO. Okay, I'm going to put a password. And if we look here, Docker PS, we don't have OpenCart HTTP here. Also, if we look at Docker images, we don't have that. Now we are going to deploy container by pulling the image from Docker Hub and create a new container. So we will do a Docker deploy in detach mode, Docker run. In detach mode, we will map our port, internal 80 port on external 80 port. We'll name it. Let's name it as shopping cart, and provide a reference to our remote image, which is OpenCart HTTP, OpenCart, yeah, HTTP, and latest, and hit enter. Like we have seen it earlier when we deployed our HANA Express Docker Hub image. The first step is to pull that image from Docker Hub. That's what system did, Docker did. Here is pulling it. Once the image is available locally, then it will deploy the container. Okay, so our container is available. We can verify log by doing docker logs, our container name, which is shopping cart, and we have no errors, so the container is up and running. Or we can also verify with docker PS, and here we can see the container. We can switch back here, and if we run our docker test.io, we should have our shopping cart available. So there we have our shopping cart. So what we did is we packaged our application into a Docker Hub image. We pushed it to Docker Hub, or Docker image. We pushed it to Docker Hub. Then we pulled that image into another test environment, and then we deployed that Docker image as a Docker container. Now this is a prerequisite for our Docker Swarm cluster, because when we will deploy our Docker Swarm cluster, we are going to use a Docker image from Docker Hub directly. So system is going to just deploy from Docker Hub to each individual container. So that's all for today for this video. And in the next video, we will build our Docker Swarm container and we'll deploy this image. Thank you, and see you in the next video.